Hello, everyone. This is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today we have a second part on a conversation with Xavier Franklin. Xavier, I hope that you are doing well.
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Welcome back. It's good to be back.
Yes, I'm happy too. Xavier, you told that you have a plan to be in the UFC either this year or early next year. And let's say that you will win some fights and you will get a contract in like 6 or 9 months. And please tell me, do you have some opponent in mind that you would like to face in your UFC debut?
Ooh, that's a great question. I haven't thought about. I don't have an opponent that I'd want to fight in my debut, but a dream fight that I do want is Piotr Jan. I want to fight him. That's like my dream fight is to fight him because he's like one of my favorite fighters. So I feel like, and he's not. He doesn't just fight for sport. He tries to fight to like kill. So like I'm one of those people like I just want to try to see like how far can he get me to death? How close can he get me? I want to fight him for sure.
Yes, and he has a little bit style like you because he like to box. He also has a really great power, and I think that he's much better than his last few performances because he lost some fights, but of course he's like top five with great skills, and he might be a champion as well too in the future.
Definitely. I hope the UFC, keeps him in there a little bit longer, man. Just hold off for a little bit longer. I'm coming. Let me get there first before you leave. Let me fight, man. Let me fight you before you leave, and now then
So
I'll send him on his way.
yes, maybe it can happen. But when you get to the UFC, would you prefer to be in the bantamweight division, especially the first few fights?
Uh, I'm pretty sure by that point I'll probably be really good on my weight and like food and stuff. So I'll probably be 25. But I mean, if Dana's like, "Hey, we got 35 for you," I'm not gonna say no. I'm gonna do it. I'm not scared. I'm here to fight. So
And I think that it's a great situation that you fought both flyweight and bantamweight because it means that maybe UFC will need some fighter on a short notice, and you can just fight in the bantamweight division. So I think that it is a good opportunity for you as well.
exactly. I like keeping my options open, man. I like having options.
Yes, and also about flyweight, I think that it is good that Bellator finally opened the flyweight division because in US flyweights have a little bit problem because there is a UFC, but except that PFL doesn't have it and Bellator didn't have it, so it was a little bit tougher for flyweights.
Yeah, and then the UFC was probably gonna try to get rid of it and stuff. So like, and at that time I was fighting amateur, and I was 25, so I was like, damn, I'm about to go up to 35. I'm small compared to all that. Now look at myself now. And I'm like, well, I mean, it's not that bad, but like now that 25 is getting, a little bit more recognition and stuff. Even then, like I still feel like 25 in the UFC, like I feel like when Mighty Mouse was fighting, there was a little bit more names and comp. You know what I mean? A little bit more game people. Now it's kind of just bland, and it was Brandon Moreno and Figgy. I mean, and they fought like 100 times. You know what I mean? And everybody's like, "Well, that's the bantamweight division." Nobody else. I mean, yeah, Kai, but he's losing to Lord knows who. So it's just, it's. I don't want to say it's gotten worse because I feel like they've gotten better, but I feel like the recognition and like just the names aren't as what they were back then. You had like John Dotson, you had what's his name? Did he
Joseph
retire?
Benavides.
Yeah, Benavidez, Mighty Mouse, Cejudo. Yeah, you had some people. So
Yes, but I think that closing flyweight division would be a crime, either now or even a few years ago, because there are so many great fighters in the flyweight division. So it's like it would be a really huge bad decision.
yeah, very bad. It's not a good business decision either because when you think about it, like a flyweight could go up to 35 and actually dominate. You look at Henry Cejudo, you know what I mean? Like he went up and he beat TJ went down and Henry Cejudo beat him, and then Henry Cejudo went up and was doing his thing, and he had a close fight with Aljamain, arguably won, but you know what I mean? So it's like I feel like there's still a lot of opportunities for the smaller weight divisions. That's why I don't agree with them getting rid of it, like, at all, because I'm a smaller guy, and I know what it feels like. We got all the skills and we got everything, and I just feel like people like the casual person doesn't understand how good we really are. You know what I mean? Like we could do everything. We could strike, we can clinch, we can grapple, we can do everything. Our fights are super exciting. It's just we're so technical that it looks boring, I guess.
Yes, and people who really don't watch MMA, they like the big guys with big power because they understand that, oh, it's a big punch, there is a knockout, so it's a kind of good, it's a kind of interesting. But of course, there is much more than like knockouts and this heavy hitting guys in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, well, with me coming in the game, it's gonna be different. They're gonna be seeing a little guy knock out the little guy, so it'll be great. It'll be good, man.
And last time you said that Conor McGregor was a quite inspiration for you. So please tell me, what was your favorite moment from Conor career?
My favorite moment in his career, I would have to go with. I mean, the Aldo one is just so iconic. Like, I remember because I was arguing with my dad about this. My dad was giving me so much shit. He's like, he's a clown. Aldo's gonna run through him. He's been undefeated 10 years. Like, all this guy can do is talk. He's like, you can fight a little bit, but blah, 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 blah. So when he knocked him out, oh my head literally almost hit the roof. I jumped so high. And I was just like, wow, like this guy, like he could like he literally just did the impossible basically. Like he literally knocked him out 13. It was the craziest. I think that's probably one of the craziest things I've ever seen in MMA history. Like ever. Like it was insane. I mean, the Eddie Alvarez one, I knew he was gonna walk through him, but that Aldo one that was something special. It's one of those moments where you just had to be there. I remember exactly where I was watching everything. It was crazy.
Yes, and they built this fight for almost a year, and there were a few press conferences in a different part of the world, and it ended in 13 seconds. So, so it
Yeah,
was kind of crazy.
exactly. Oh, that press conference was amazing, man. He's hilarious. Like, I plan on like I take little bits of things from him because he's really funny. Like he understands. Like not only is he a fighter, but he also understands. Like you're also a showman too. You gotta give a show a little bit, but it's not like an act. It's just natural. Just comes off the head. It's not like he has all this rehearsed and all this stuff. Because when you have a rehearsed, you just try to play through it, and it just sounds corny and cheesy. To him, it's natural, and that's why everybody likes him and gravitate towards him. So, yeah.
Yes, and for him, his beginning, winning interim title, winning normal regular title was something unbelievable. And then the Floyd fight, the fighting for the lightweight title, even a Khabib fight, where there were a little bit of bad emotions. So his career was like one of the kind.
Yeah, exactly. I always like to call him a unicorn. Like there's like a few unicorn. Like hey, he's one. John Jones is one. If you already say what you want, Cejudo's a unicorn. Like there's just those people that just can do things where it's just like, dang, like these guys are just it's different. So yeah, he definitely is like I think he's like the Floyd of MMA. He changed it. Like people are getting paid more. People are dressing different. They're trying to talk trash. Like they're just trying to change everything just because they see he put out the blueprint. This is kind of what you got to do. You know what I mean? And everybody takes their own things from it. You know, some people take the trash talk side. Some people take the style from them. You know what I mean? The fighting style. Like it's just different things.
Yes, and I think that people need some great characters, great stories. So Conor is one, maybe a little bit Israel Adesanya is the other one right now. So there is always a place for great guys who can sell their fights, who are very relatable, and who can bring not even MMA fans, but like not fans of the sport. They can bring them to watch MMA and stay.
Yeah, exactly. Like, see me, like since I've played other sports, I know people that don't watch MMA and like MMA is super big now, so it's kind of like everybody's watching it, but like people that play like basketball, football, golf, all those sports, like I know people like that, so I kind of just they're like, oh, you fight? They're like, well, how's that? So I just like you kind of got to reel them in a little bit. I'm like, yeah, you should come to my fight, come watch, and all this stuff. So yeah, I definitely think when you can appeal to the masses, not just your community, because like appealing to MMA crowd, like we all have our own little bubble. But if you're able to get and cater towards like basketball, football, soccer, tennis, rugby, all those things, then it's like, okay, this guy has a different type of pool.
And one of the new stars is also a Sean O'Malley, and he will be fighting for the bantamweight title. So please tell me about what do you think about this bout and who will be a champion after this?
It's crazy. I used to not like Sean O'Malley because I still kind of don't like him. Not that I'm hating on him. I have nothing against him. He can fight his ass off for sure. And that fight against Piotr Jan was really good. I don't think he won, but hey, the judges gave it the other way. He's good, but he's gonna get mauled. Aljamain's just I know his striking's not the best, but that backpack roll and that wrestling, if Piotr Jan's taking Sean O'Malley down, you don't think somebody that wrestled at a pretty high level in college is gonna take him down and like hold him down and has superb jiu-jitsu and is bigger and stronger. He's gonna take him down. I mean, and Sean, we've seen he has a little bit of quit in him. I mean, yeah, he had the Jan fight where he was, fighting back and whatever. But it's like, bro, I don't even think that was 5 rounds. It was 3 rounds. This is a championship fight. It's 5 rounds. So in three rounds, you're looking a little bit sloppy. Like, he still got those shots. Aljamain's fighting 5. He's big. He's strong. I think Aljamain's gonna I think he's gonna sub him, or he's just gonna walk through a unanimous decision, and then just at that moment he may just be the bantamweight goat, and then probably go up and try to challenge Volk or something. I don't think O'Malley has the striking, but it's like a puncher's chance almost. Like he's baiting on catching him. You know what I mean? Aljamain's already been knocked out and he's fought some superb strikers, The only difference with Sean O'Malley is he's lanky, he's tall, and he's like real long. And he kind of fights like how old Connor does, like that long, a little bit more boxy, like likes to do the spinning kicks and the pull, and he can switch stance. But sometimes whenever he throws, he kind of leaves himself extended a little bit. And I think Aljamain's just gonna counter off that, especially if Sean starts throwing like spinning kicks and stuff. I was just probably gonna duck under, just take his back, and just ride it out from there.
I think that in one point of time, Aljamain Sterling had many haters, people that really didn't appreciate him. But I think that right now, after the Cejudo win and after TJ win before that, he gained some recognition, and I think that it's really good because except that he's a great fighter, he seems to also be a really cool guy. Like for me, it's hard to like hate him, don't like him.
Yeah. No, I definitely. So to me, Aljamain's super corny. He's just corny. Like, it's kind of cringy, like Cejudo, but in his own little corny way. But as a fighter, I respect everything he's done, especially his last performances and him running through when he ran through Jan and he ran through TJ. And then he ran through Corey as well. Then he beat Cejudo. I mean, it's like you can't keep hating on him the way when he fights. Like, when he fights, he shows up to fight. So I don't discredit anything that he's done. I just think his character is a little weird. It's a little, whatever. But I guess I support him because he's the champion. You can't downplay the champion. You know what I mean? Especially after like him being down and then coming back and like getting knocked out and then coming back and then just changing everything up and just embracing his grappler role, his backpack role, and then just doing his thing. My hat's off to him for sure.
And from your perspective, what is the best thing in being a MMA fighter? What do you like the most in this?
The girls. No, I'm just the best thing. I don't know. I would say just being able to punch somebody and not get in trouble for it. I just like fighting. Like the best thing, I can tell you the worst thing is cutting weight. I can tell you the worst thing. The best thing, I mean, the ladies aren't sounding bad. Nah, I would say the experience. You get to experience something a lot of people in the world don't get to experience. Like actually getting in, being put in a situation like a fight or flight situation to where you're training. It's very weird because you're training for somebody to beat somebody and they're training to beat you. It's not like a street fight where it's like you see each other and it's just right then and there. No, there's time and you got to sit on it. You're thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? Like your mind starts playing tricks on you. So I think that's probably the best thing is like the anticipation of the fight and being able to fight, like being able to see if you can execute all the things you said and things you put together. So I believe like the fighting part, I guess, is the best part for me. I mean, some people are going to say like being able to travel, the money, all this. I mean, when I'm getting the money, I'm probably going to say the money. I'm not going to sit here and lie and be like, no. If I'm getting the money, I'm definitely going to be like, give me the money. The money is what makes me happy. But even then, like I didn't get in the game for money. I got in the game to chase legacy. So when you're chasing legacy, money comes. So I guess, yeah, the fighting part for me is, I guess, the best part of MMA.
And let's say that you are before the fight, and there is a stressful situation. How do you deal with this, with whole training camp and the few hours before the fight?
A lot of sex. I definitely do have sex and stuff like to get that stress out, but I try not to stress, honestly. Like I try not. I know it's there because that's just part of it. But I try to stay focused. Like I said, my mental is very strong. So if something's gonna like stress me out, I literally can put it on like a back burner until everything's done. Like I have a mental space to where when I have to do a task and I know this has to get done and there's nothing that should be able to block that task, I have a space to where I can put that task and the first priority and put everything else in the back and just deal with it later. So I try not to deal with that type of stuff because stuff like that starts to play tricks on your mind, and then that's when you get fighters like they start making mistakes in the gym. They end up getting hurt. They end up pulling out of the fight, stuff like that. I don't like to look into it that way. If it's something, it's like okay, that's what it is. I'll deal with it when I need to deal with it. Right now, I need to focus on the fight.
And let's say that this is a dream world. If you can pick any skill or weapon from any fighter in the world, what would you like to pick?
Give me Francis's power. I want to hit people and they literally just get frozen like Elsa. Literally like frozen like Medusa when she looks at the men and they just freak. Like I would love that, especially at my size. If I just hit somebody and they just literally just fall into Lego pieces, that'd be the greatest thing ever.
Yes, and sometimes it's really looking quite dangerous. When he fought against Alistair Overeem, it was the uppercut, I believe, that after this it was like, oh, it's a dangerous situation.
Yeah. I thought at that moment, I literally thought we had seen somebody die on TV. that uppercut was disgusting. That was crazy. And then he came down with, I was like, oh man. But yeah, I think I'd either want Francis's power or I'd want John Jones's IQ. Hit John Jones. I wish that fight would have happened, man. I don't think it ever will, but I wish it would have happened. John Jones, like, he is very smart. Not only does he have like the weapons, but like he knows how to use all his weapons very well, and his situational awareness is really, really good. So either Francis's power or John Jones's brains.
Yes, and actually, I think that John Jones had everything because he had like the best skills in the history. He's a very charismatic guy, so people like him. So if not the outside issues, he would be like 10-time defending heavyweight champion.
Oh yeah, he's a wild boy, but I think that's what makes him who he is. Like John Jones is kind of like me. He's like a bad guy trying to be good. I really see it. Like I know deep down he's a good guy, but like his just nature of just wanting to do bad stuff just kicks in. You know, you can't blame him though. He's like the youngest UFC champion ever. Like was getting Nike deals, all that stuff. 23 years old. Like, dude, if I was 23 and I was the youngest UFC champ, like I'd probably do crazy things too. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably gonna do crazy things now. Like I try to keep it calm. You know, I don't drink or smoke or anything, but like when you're the champion at that young, I mean, you're liable to do anything. You know what I mean? Not crashing into pregnant women, but you know, everything else is probably on par with the root of getting crazy. So, but I think that's what makes him him. You know what I mean? I feel like when he tried to not really look at it and like kind of try to like deny it is when it just got worse. Because then he'd have the urge to be worse. Whenever he kind of could just more embrace it, it was like, yeah, I did these, I accept it. But like now I'm like, you know, trying to change and all this stuff, but still can tap into that bad guy role. Then that's when you see him execute that little switch in the fight. So definitely.
And because you have a lot of experience in MMA, both amateur and professional, and you have also a lot of years training, what do you think would be a toughest stylistically matchup for you?
Toughest stylistic matchup. If they just didn't show up, I think that'd be the hardest matchup. If nobody's got in the ring, that'd be the hardest matchup. I don't think there's really like a tough style. Like, yeah, I know you look at that my first fight, I lost, but that matchup to me wasn't a tough style. It was just there's a lot of things that played into that, and I don't think that was a bad matchup. It's just who would I say would be like? I guess probably like a Yair would be a very interesting matchup. Because he's very springy and he's kind of like sporadic and can just pop off with all the crazy kicks and stuff. I think that would be interesting. I would have to use my brains in a fight like that. But other than that, like even then, like Yair, I mean, you just take him down, you just hold him down and do what Frankie Edgar did to him. You know what I mean? So but I don't really think there's tough matchups because like I'm versatile. I can do anything. I can do all the flying kick stuff too. I just don't do it. I just fight to win. I don't care if it's boring, if it's not boring, if it's whatever. You know, I'm there to win. I just so happen to fight and it's just exciting. Like I know at the end of because I'm coming to fight. I'm not coming to just kind of cruise. Like anytime I'm in a fight, I'm not looking for a finish, but I'm pushing for a finish. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm not trying to finish them, but I'm trying to finish them at the same time. You know what I mean? Because like when you get finishes, more people will see, you get more recognition as opposed to when you take a bunch of people to decision. Now, if it's just a one-sided ass whooping, you're just beating his ass, I guess that's just as good as a finish. But I like to finish people. I like to prove a point. I like to make statements, and that's my whole thing. And July 15th, I'm definitely gonna make a statement. I'm pushing for a finish.
And you have a lot of finishes even on amateur scene because you have 4 knockouts from in 5 fights, so you are like 80% percent finishing rate.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just everybody has like Mike Tyson. Everybody has a plan till they get hit in the face, and I think that's what me. Like a lot of people, they underestimate me. Like they say like a bunch of people will say all this stuff and say they'll fight me and all this and that. When that contract and that paperwork gets slid over the desk and my name's on the bottom of it, and they're looking at it like, oh shit, I don't know if because they go back and look at those knockouts, you know what I mean? All the guys that I got in there with, my hat's off to them for, you know, taking the fights. But it's like they kind of know that they're signing their death certificate when they fight me pretty much. Like it's You know what I mean? I'm not going in there to just fuck around and just be buddy friends. Like I'm going in there like, well, it's war. Like you're trying to take what I got, and I'm trying to take what you got. There's no friends in this shit. Of course, I'm coming to finish you. I'm not gonna sit there and play patty cake with you and be buddy. Which I mean, you know, there's always respect. I always have respect for any fighter. I get it that I fight, win, lose, draw, whatever I fight. But I can't respect anybody that doesn't get in there, and definitely somebody that just like misses weight on purpose. Like if you miss weight because you just cannot make it, that's cool. But when you do it on purpose, that's another thing. You know what I mean? But like when you, and then also when you like, because I've had a few people like they'll try to say they want to fight me, this and that, and I'm like, okay, well let's fight. I'll call their team. We'll get to talking, and then we tell the promotion, okay, you say he wants to fight. Let's make it happen. And then they disappear. They're nowhere to be found. I can't respect them. But I'm pretty sure after July 15th and like a couple more fights, there's gonna be a bunch of little birdies chirping. Oh, I want to fight him, me, all this stuff. But it's like, bro, where were you at whenever like 5 guys pulled out and I was trying to fight then? You know what I mean? So we'll see.
And when you are 30, where exactly would you like to be in the UFC? In what place? Just maybe not just making a debut, but maybe being in the rankings, fighting for the title?
Oh, when I'm 30, I'm 26. 4 years, 3 years. I think I'll be top 5. In my mind, I'm the champion, but I'll be top 5. I'm realist. I'll be top 5. I'll probably be fighting for the belt. If not, I'll be a fight away from the belt. Because I think I'm gonna jump a lot of people. I know I'm gonna have some battles, but I think I'm gonna prove that I'm more than ready for sure. So I definitely think if I'm not top 5, I'm fighting for the belt. One of the two.
Yes, and I think that in the flyweight division it can be a little bit like easier because of course flyweight division is also very, very good, but in bantamweight I think that right now is the best division that there is in the UFC. So even a top 15 guy is like a murderer.
Exactly. But me, I don't care about none of that shit. I'm gonna fight him regardless. So I look at it this way, like it's like the flyweight division. I look at it like, that's an easier route to get the belt. And I look at the bantamweight division. I'm like, oh, that's like if I could get some of those names on my resume, then it's like, you know, it solidifies you almost. So it's like, I'll be probably jumping to both. I'll probably, you know, go to 25 and just run through them, like just run through them literally. And then once I run through them, then I'll start looking at the 35ers and just letting them know, like, hey, I'm right here, brother. Just be ready.
And outside fighting, let's say that there is that this is a moment after your fight. What do you like to do in your free time?
Hang out with chicks. I like to game. Like I play like Call of Duty. I do Twitch. Like I'm hitting like a different like mode in my life. Like I don't even really game that much. Like I usually just watch fights. I go to bars and shoot shit with my friends. We talk fighting all the time. The what if matchups, like all that stuff. I don't get in. I don't really get crazy anymore because like anytime I go out, like I tend to get in fights or people want to fight me, and that's you know what I mean. I don't do anything because I'm the smallest guy out there, so I don't really, you know. So I try to stay away from like the party scene, but I just like game, chill, watch movies, hang out with chicks. You know what I'm saying, time to time. But other than that, yeah, like I don't do nothing crazy. I mean, I'm really like a gym rat. Like I'm in the gym every day, like every day. Even when I got on my rest days, I'm still in the gym teaching or just around, like just being in that environment. I feel like in order to really engulf your life in the game, like you just got to be around it 24/7. You can't just, you know, completely step away and just be away from it. Like, I mean, I get like you need mental breaks and stuff like that, but it's like, bro, if this is your life and this is what you want to do, why would you need to step away from me? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I know people have families and stuff like that, but I have a family, but I don't have kids. I don't have a wife. I don't have none of that. So right now, like, I'm young and I'm hungry. Why shouldn't I be in the gym 24/7? Why shouldn't I be, you know, insane to the game? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Connor said, Vincent Van Gogh, lose my mind to it. Like that's how I am. Like this is all my life is. I gave up a lot of stuff. I sacrificed a lot of my life to be where I'm at now, and I'm not even close to where I want to be. And I'm still have that mindset when I was 18 when I left college. Like, bro, you got a lot. You still got a lot of things to do. So that's the mindset I have when I'm inside the gym, outside the gym. Like, while I'm talking fights and stuff with my friends or out with my family, I'm thinking about like, oh, how would I beat this guy? How would I? What would I do? You know what I mean? Like I'm doing those type of things. I'm not thinking like this sport, that sport. Like I like to troll people sometimes and do things like that, but I'm not really into that. I'm mainly, you know, focused on the game.
You are right now a young fighter, but let's say that in many years, when you become a UFC champion and you will end your career, what do you plan to do? Do you plan to be a coach or leave MMA and just enjoy life?
Nah, I know I'm not gonna leave MMA. I'm probably gonna be like a coach because my coach is a little bit older, so I'll probably like, you know, step in for him. Like we got a bunch of young fighters that are like 18, 19, 20. We got some younger ones that are like 11, 12, like some kids that want to fight. So I look at them because I train them and I look at them and I'm like, y'all are the future. I tell them all the time, y'all are the future, bro. Like I know like what y'all see me doing right now, I'm young, so like it's easy for us to relate. But as I get older and y'all are gonna be getting older, I'm gonna be, you know, blossoming out and y'all are gonna be blossoming in. So I'm probably gonna help them, but I'll definitely be around, you know what I mean? But I'm probably gonna like do like some modeling stuff or stuff like that, something with fashion, because you know I like clothes, I like, you know what I'm saying? I like all that type of stuff, but yeah, I'll forever be in the game. Like the game, I'll never leave it. Martial arts is something that you're in forever. It's not like a sport where you're just in and then you're out. Like if you notice, like a lot of the UFC guys, the MMA guys, they may not be fighting anymore, but they're still training. They're still in the gym. They're still doing something affiliated with fighting. You know what I mean? Because once you're a martial artist, you're forever a martial artist. It never leaves you. You see all those like old Shaolin monks or like those like karate guys, like they're still doing all the same stuff, even in their old age, and they're still looking good. I feel like that's the way martial arts should be. Like Bruce Lee, like even if he was alive today, he would still be doing all the same things that, you know, he grew up with, the morals and things that he grew up with. So I feel like we should honor it as a martial art and still be like that the same way, you know, and pass that knowledge down forward. We learned that knowledge, we acquired it. Coach passed it to me, so I'll pass it down to somebody younger, somebody that wants to do the same thing as me or try to be greater.
Yes, and you are right that very rarely it is that like top fighter is just leaving MMA overall. He's always either coach or just or manager or training just for himself. So it's true that it's rarely is happening. And I have one more question. Outside of MMA, if you have a chance to learn one skill, what do you like to learn?
Outside of MMA, what are we talking? Like sports? What are we talking?
Anything.
Like...
It can be something artistic. It can be a different sport.
I would probably be. That's a good one. I might be like a professional gamer. Like I really like. I really like gaming. I feel like I really want to be on like a professional gaming team and just like the anxiety, the stress. Like I feel like that is more than fighting. Either gaming or like something to do with modeling or something like that, like fashion or something like. That's a good question. I haven't even thought about that. Maybe like a comedian, learn how to like do some stand-up comedy or something. Like just be a funny guy. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yes, and it is a tough one to be
Yeah,
in
it's
front of the
super
crowd.
hard. Yeah, a lot of people can't talk in front of big crowds. I'm probably one of those people. I can talk. I'm a little bit better now, but like when there's like big crowds and like you're like having to talk by yourself, it's like it gets a little crazy. But I performed in front of big crowds doing what I love, so I mean it's not that big of a deal. I feel like it wouldn't be that hard. The only difference is I feel like remembering what you're supposed to say and what you're supposed to do would probably be the hardest. But yeah, I mean, probably like try to learn like how to do like a little bit of stand-up comedy or something like that.
So Xavier, many thanks for the second part of this conversation. I hope that we can get back after your fight and do like episode number 3. Because I think that these conversations are really great, and I will like watch your career closely.
Definitely, thank you, man. I really huge shout out to you, man. Like MMA prospects, y'all look out for him, man. Watch this interview is gonna blow. This is gonna age like wine. This is one of those moments where it's like you start little, and when I'm big, we're gonna come back and I'm like, hey, remember the time? It's gonna be one of those moments for sure.
Yes, and it is true that after a few years, it will be nice to see like maybe not your beginnings, but let's say that in the first part of your career, and then when you will be in the UFC, you will be it will be like great like memories about it.
Oh, definitely, it's gonna be hilarious. I already know. Look, I'm already seeing it. We're gonna be looking back. We're just gonna be laughing about it in the future.
Okay, so many thanks once again, and good luck on Peak Fighting 30.
Yes, sir. July 15th, tune in. We're going to put Kangaroo Jack back in his pouch. Let's go.